Hello. Third time lucky. We've already done the joke about the boat a couple of times, so I'm not going to do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again. That's how we're getting home on the beautiful vision of the seas. It'll take us right back to Lowestoft on Saturday. Well, me anyway. I'll have to drop you off somewhere else, Pat, I think. But so that's how we're getting home, obviously. Hilarious. And Ireland can't really do Facebook Live apparently on a Thursday morning, so we're recording this instead. And there was a game of football last night. Norwich kicking off their pre-season friendlies at Cobh with a 5-0 win. And I think, Pad, what I was trying to get out of you was just a couple of things we can pick up from the immediately horrible way of trying to read things into pre-season. Basically, I'm asking you to do that. So
yeah.
So good luck.
No. I mean, as I was saying until I was rudely cut off, not once but twice. Player-wise, don't think we learnt too much. Okay, there was one or two new players, so it's good to see them in the flesh, as it were. But I think it's more the philosophy and what Farker wants to do, and you can already see that, 2 weeks in, effectively, of working with the players, that effectively wanting to dominate the ball, not only just to create chances, obviously, it's a stupid thing to say, but to control the game as well, to control the tempo, control the threat from the opposition. Now, let's be honest, Alex Neil used to say all those things as well, but and it was proven to be not residually effective. But with this guy, well, time will tell. But certainly, with the caveat, of course, they're playing fairly lowly opposition, who were really there just to provide them with a fitness workout. I thought you could see signs already, that how he wants them to go about it. But it's very early days, so decent beginnings, but I wouldn't draw too many hard or fast conclusions from that 90 minutes. I
mean, what kind of picked up, I think, from being around the place was how hard they're being worked in Ireland. They're away on this training camp this week, and they had a full-on session in the morning before playing a game against a side that is 2/3 through their season, so it's proper battle-hardened and match sharp. So they're being properly worked. I think there'll be injuries that they pick up in that time as well, given how hard they are being pushed. So it's certainly not a light training camp that they're on at the moment. The Germans are working them hard. I guess the other big question is then the new signings, because I think we saw 3. There are 5 in the building, aren't there? Angus Gunn is still away, and Harrison Reed was here but had only just signed, so we won't see him in action just yet, which left Mario Vrancic, Marley Watkins and Christoph Zimmerman. Do you make of the first sights of that? We haven't really spoken to any of them, but first sights of seeing them on a pitch?
Vrancic was good. Again, caveat of what he's up against, but you could see there's a player there. Loved his delivery, his corners. Written about it actually in the last half an hour or so for the websites. Too often Norwich haven't had that real threat from corners and free kicks, and conversely, I'll go back to Leeds back end of last season, the amount of times they look vulnerable to set pieces defensively. So you flip that round, and if Norwich can have the similar type of threat, which means good delivery, quality delivery, then I think that's got to be a bonus, because they certainly haven't had that in last season, maybe seasons past. But you could just see, with dead ball delivery, he can put the ball where he wants to put it, which most professional footballers should be able to do. But sadly, my mind just goes back to Robbie Brady and the amount of times it never cleared the first man.
I think it just gets hard when you're in a yellow shirt. That's what I've deduced at times.
Yeah, maybe. So we'll see how he gets on with that. But yeah, I like the look of him. Bigger than I thought as well. Physically, you got the sense when we were hearing about the deal and as it went through that he's a very technically gifted player. But I think physically he won't be found wanting as well, which they're going to need, because as you rightly say there, you throw a Harrison Reed and Alex Pritchard or James Maddison into that midfield mix. I think that's the point you made last night. There'll be certain tests in the Championship physically, would that midfield be up to it? So they're going to need a little bit of muscle as well as the panache, and he's got it, and so too is Zimmerman. I mean, physically he's an impressive specimen, and he just looks like a pure defender to me. I don't think he's probably got the ability on the ball that a Closer has, but conversely I think, and he said it himself, didn't he, when he was unveiled, he just likes to keep the ball out of the net. That's not a bad attribute for a centre-back. It's certainly one that Norwich could do with.
Isn't that very true? I think that's, I mean, everyone, it's quite a tight group that they've got involved here. So I think it was a squad of 18 that was involved last night, and the 2 centre-backs did play the full 90 minutes. Everyone else got 45. We saw James Maddison playing in a slightly deeper role than a number 10. I get the impression we might see a bit more of that next season, which will be interesting as well. And I guess then all the other talk has been what's happened away from the actual game, really, hasn't it? Aside from Wes signing a lot of autographs. So we've got Graham Dorran's in Scotland. That deal's going to go through, isn't it? And then obviously the Johnny Houston chatter, he wasn't involved, and it seems like there's a bit going on between Middlesbrough and Norwich in terms of seeing if they can come to an agreement to seal the deal.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment where we are at Thursday lunchtime. You know, he's here, he's in Ireland, he's training. He wasn't involved, so we can all draw our own conclusions from that. Very clearly, Middlesbrough have open talks. There is ongoing dialogue. I don't think they're where they need to be in terms of the fee. They're not on the same page there. So if we're in the horse trading stage, the player quite clearly would feel he wants to maybe take that opportunity, reading between the lines. So there's a lot of elements that make sense as to why that deal could happen, but ultimately, you know, I think Norwich is still in a reasonably strong position. It isn't a guy who's effectively out of contract very imminently. There's still 2 years left. That does strengthen the hand a touch, albeit, as they've publicly said themselves, they need to raise money through player sales to do what they want to do and to balance the books to a degree. So rival clubs will know that, so you can understand where the to and fro is with that deal at the minute. But I think it's clear that Howson won't be a Norwich player come the end of the window. So it's just a case of when rather than if, I think.
And that's where we are, which is in Cobh, and obviously, I think the captain's waving at us, so we better get back on our ship before we end up having to swim till I was stopped. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening on the podcast. We'll put this up as a podcast at pinkin.coms as well, and we'll be back in Norwich, and we'll be at Lowestoft covering the game, the second pre-season friendly back in the UK, and we'll see what they do there. Until then, cheers, Pat. Thanks all, goodbye.